What would it take to have more possibilities in your life? What would it take to live beyond this reality? What would that create in your life? Welcome to Living Beyond This Reality podcast. I'm the host, Katherine Bihlmeier. Hi, this is Katherine Bihlmeier with my podcast. Today I have someone very special. Her name is Lizé Groenewald. Hi, Lizé.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to my podcast.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm happy that we do that together today. Would you like to introduce you, what you do, you amazing being?
Look at you throwing shots around. Hi, everyone. I'm Lizé Groenewald. I am a yoga teacher, a sacred medicine facilitator, and a self-development and mindset coach. And it is such an amazing blessing to be here with you, Katharina, on this beautiful podcast. Thank you so much for having me. I mean, I learned so much from you on just everything with regards to having a soul on fire and just living such a joyful life.
Yes, we had so much fun already with Instagram lives, and my heart is always rejoicing when I'm seeing you and talking to you. It brings so much lightness. So thanks for this contribution already. Great. I'm an author of the upcoming book, The Soul on Fire, as Lisa is just saying. And I'm since 20 years international facilitating people to have more joy, more ease, more glory in their lives, in all areas of their lives, and in all sorts of different ways. And very practical. Yes, and I love seeing people changing and having more fun and more joy and laughing more and also going for more ease, because life is simple and ease. And today we have this amazing topic of anger, frustration.
Ooh,
so that's an amazing one. Would you like to start, Lisa, with that? What do you think about? What do you have? What wisdom do you have in your universe for anger and frustration?
Oh my gosh. Where to even start? There's so much going on in this realm, in this earth, in this reality that we as a collective are experiencing right now. And yeah, there's so much spiritual growth and destruction of structures happening. But I think, and I feel a lot that people are showing but not talking about is the amount and aptitude of anger and frustration that they are currently feeling. And not necessarily just with the outside world and what's happening with our economy and all the governmental structures, but within ourselves. You know, we tend to be so hard on ourselves of wanting to be the best person and wanting to change and judging ourselves on how we can change and then not doing the thing and then experiencing all that frustration and anger towards ourselves that sometimes we hurt our feet and sometimes we bump our knees and sometimes we burn our fingers on a physical level. And it's our body and our subconscious talking to us saying like, listen, maybe you just need to go and reflect it a little and see what's happening on the inside.
Very good. Yes, totally. Just having this little accident was also like, of course, bringing lots of stuff up. And I asked for that. I mean, I have been asking for that, wanting to change quite a lot in my life, which is not functioning anymore. What I see at the moment, that we have so much strong support, but also strong downloads of energy, of new awareness, of new consciousness, of more consciousness to the earth, which is great. And for me, when I get angry, and also when I see other people, it's mainly because there is a lie. If you get angry, there is a lie. Somewhere where maybe you are just doing something which you could do already better, or you are choosing to do again, or you are allowing other people to do with you. Then this makes you angry. Because it's a lie. It's a lie that you can't do something, you are relying on someone, or you are not free to choose yourself, or you think you can't do something on yourself, whatever. But that's very often bringing us to an anger, which is great. What we didn't want to see is getting clearer. We are actually seeing more and more and more what's going on in the world, what we have been allowing other people to do with us, and all that seeing and the clarity which is also coming in more and more brings frustration and brings anger and brings seeing, wow, all these lies, what's happening, and how much are they gonna, how much do they really think that they can go on with this lying?
That's it.
Yeah, so, but it's up to everyone else to really have a look where you lie even to yourself, because lying to yourself is also creating to lie more lies in our world. And very often we arrange our life to where we know already that there needs to be a change, but we know already our marriage is not anymore really creating, and we keep on, and then we make everything like a bit pinkish. Oh, it's great here and great here, but everything what is underneath is put under the carpet. And then with that, of course, frustration gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And not just frustration gets bigger, it's also the anger gets bigger. So for me, anger is also a force. It's also a life force. It's also our life power, actually. It's also our sexualness, which is not living, or what we are suppressing. And anger is very much also a very good clearing energy. It's like, for me, when I sit with anger, I sit and I'm totally present, and I let it come up. It's for me energy which is strongly like a volcano. It's like a earth volcano. When I just sit and let this hot energy pass through, it brings more clarity. I get very clear with that, and I'm clearing all stuff out which I bought, which is not mine, which is maybe not even my anger. And it clears my whole energy field also, and my body. So it's very healthy. It's actually a very healthy energy. And how can you use it to your advantage? Most of us are just going with anger against this anger, against, we don't want it. We have learned with the family structure system that anger might not be good. You are not allowed to be angry most of the way. You're not, in this world, we are not allowed to be powerful. And anger doesn't need to be thrown out, because no one can do something with your anger. It's your energy. It needs to be in you and with you, and not out there. And take it more to your advantage. So take it more for your if you have never allowed yourself to speak up and tell people, hey, this doesn't function for me, this power is here to help you to stand up and speak up. And also you got the clarity with the anger in just allowing that. And so that's one thing. Of course, we can go deeper with that. And Lizé has for sure something to that. Also, when I sense or I'm aware of anger, I'm also asking who am I aware of? Because with my empathy, and I guess with yours too, it could be that 98% is not yours anyway, what you're aware of. So I have a super tool from Access Consciousness, which always works. And it's everything which doesn't belong to me and is not me, I send back with total allowance and with total consciousness. So what's going on with Lizé? She's not coming in. I'm just gonna go on. Maybe her internet broke down. She lives in South Africa, if I'm right. So I'm just gonna go on. So I was with anger. Then, you know, when we often repeat situations in our lives or repeat with always having the same perspective on situations, or repeat until we get really conscious about something, it can frustrate, of course. And for me, what I found out, that frustration is actually a very great form of keeping you going. It's an energy where you don't want to stop, you don't want to give up. You are frustrated, and you're gonna, with this frustration, you want to go on. That's a good one. That's a good energy to just, ask questions. I remember me sometimes, or sometimes I just see myself where I'm doing over and over, even with a technology, with a computer, for example. I'm going and I just have one possibility in this moment, and then I repeat the same manuals, the same stuff here. And then I'm like, Katherine, you did it already 3 or 4 times. You know that this is not working. So what else could I choose here that would work? See, that's a way of creating more ease in your life and taking this frustration to another level. So ask questions on that, and keep on moving. If you don't judge yourself, that's also a good one. If you don't judge yourself and just take the energy of frustration, of really, there is actually deep in this frustration, there is something where you know something to that, what you want to achieve, and where you know something, you have a wisdom to that. So, and this is pushing you into keeping you going and keeping going on. Yeah, Lizé is back. So, Lizé, what do you have today?
Yeah, getting back to the powerful energy and frequency of anger, and as we said before, that emotions are just a way of our subconscious mind trying to communicate with us in order for us to step into a higher self and step into a higher vibration. And it doesn't mean that when we experience, I will say, lower or higher density frequency, that it is necessarily a bad thing. It can always be a good thing because it's a teacher. Just as any medicine, our emotions are also a medicine to teach us, I had this experience Monday, and just referring back to what you said about it can be a clearing energy. I had my first Monday for the first time in years. I haven't experienced the Monday in so long. And it was just everything. I felt like as soon as I make the decisions, you know, sit down and do my work and finish the projects and just tie up all the loose ends, that things just bomb out. My laptop broke again. I was back to square one where I was a month ago. It was just so frustrating. And I'm not an angry person. You know, I'm always trying to see where the lesson is, see where the teaching is going. But that day, I saw myself in my mind's eye, just literally taking my computer and smashing it into tiny little pieces on the floor. And I was just over it. And I couldn't understand where this energy and this frustration and this anger was coming from. And this is also sometimes what happens to me, where I don't always, or I can't immediately tell where it's coming from. And that is okay, because sometimes our judgment is so clouded by this frequency that we don't have a clear mind to think about the source of where it's coming from. So I
have a question here. Is it really important to get, because for me it's not important anymore, Lizé, to analyze something, because then I'm in my head and then I'm totally off of connection. So for me, when I sense or I'm aware of, like you were describing yourself on Monday, I would just start the question, like where you already ask yourself, so where is this coming from?
Yeah.
And, you know, with our empathy and our awareness and being more awake than lots of other people, we might be aware of, I mean, 98% what we're aware of is not ours.
Exactly.
And then in this situation, just to ask a question like, is this really mine now, what I'm aware of and how I'm, what I want now, or is it someone else who I'm aware of? And then sending all this emotional stuff back, so the person has a possibility to wake up on their own and choose it with total consciousness. That's what I just, that's amazing, because that was just what I was talking about just before, to send back what is not yours. Because really 98%, everything what you think and all the emotions and feelings are not yours. You're just aware of that. And you make it yours. And you make it even more real when you ask a question, where is this coming from? What is going on in me, and make it more real.
It's like you're calling it out. You're facing the truth dead on, or you're facing the lie.
Yes. So what if you the next time just ask a questions? It's so amazing, because this is really bringing me so much more ease, and lots of my students who are learning with me, or also coaches, they have since they are taking this tool. It's amazing. It's clearing, it's faster, it's cleaning up, and you are more in your energy, in your real whole happiness, which is your energy anyway. You are not an angry person, as you said before. So what does it take that you just take the tools, everyone here, and send back with total consciousness to everyone who does it belong? That's also a form of healing other people, taking it on. That was how we healed long before, but our consciousness has moved and is so much bigger now on this planet Earth, so we have other possibility to heal now, in just being aware and sending it back with consciousness. So they choose or not choose, but you are happy again.
That's exactly that. And when I asked that decision, is this mine? Is this my emotion and my thoughts and experience that I am feeling right now? I recognized that that feeling stayed. So in my experience, when the feeling goes away, then I know it wasn't mine and I carry on with life. But this feeling really stayed. So and then to get into my body and not analyze it, I decided to go on a fuck it walk. I was like, fuck everything. I'm going on a walk. I don't care. I'm just going to go into the forest and I'm going to whatever, just get into my body and forget about everything. And
Yeah.
I had the most beautiful experience. I went to this one tree where the hawk on the farm usually sits. And as I was walking towards the tree, I was barefoot. And I saw all this broken glass everywhere lying around. So I figured, this is quite an interesting metaphor right now. And I started collecting the glass. And I thought, maybe just as a form of expression, I will start humming. And I just hummed whatever melody came to mind. And as I was picking up the glass, it was so interesting because I would clear a certain area on the ground and think that the glass would be picked up. And then when I take another step ahead, out of nowhere, there would be a hell of a lot more glass. And it was just really interesting. And now I'm sitting with all this glass in my hands. And I was like, okay, so how am I going to take this back? I don't have a bag to carry it with me. And I'm definitely not going to leave it here. And as I look to my left, there's this big piece of bark that fell off the tree. And it was a perfect just holder for all this glass. And I kept on picking up the glass, and it was just such a beautiful metaphor for no matter how scattered any type of energy feels, that it is still your choice to collect it. And even though you don't have the tools to harness it while you deal with it, nature is always there, regardless. So nature helped me, and I picked up the glass and I discarded it and I felt better.
Yeah. The universe always has your back too.
Yep.
Great. And sometimes we get angry because we are going with our mindset and our programmed head and mind here, then rather asking a question of what is now the priority, what is really required now, how does my life today wants to flow, what is really now the most creating for me now to do. I know that's always a challenge for me when I have my taxes, like to do my taxes, and I'm like, okay, I need to do my taxes. I know that. So I put it up. And actually I don't have anything to I don't have something against the taxes. It's just like, sometimes it's a lot of work, which is a judgment.
Yeah.
And then with this judgment, I'm creating already my whole reality. So,
exactly.
And then I get angry because I'm not creating what I truly want or truly could create. I'm getting angry because I'm choosing judgments than rather asking questions. When is the right time to do that? When is the best time? When is it going to create the most to sit down and do it? But because when I do that, when I ask this question, then my body is going to sit down and just do it when it is the right time. And then it's so easy and fun and light and fast, and it's done. So everywhere where you always go with your mind and program yourself, you need to, and actually it's not you at all, because you have so much other possibilities to do your things. And I know with business, that's also like everyone is doing that and that and that, and it seems like it's working for them. So, but what do you know? What do you know with your business? Because it's your business. And what wisdom do you have? And how would your life be if you really just ask questions and focus on yourself, what really works for you and what doesn't function?
Exactly.
Then you get even a bit less angry with yourself and have more ease in your life.
Yeah, and getting less angry with being angry, because that's a
Yeah.
whole other can of worms right there.
Yes. Or even judging because you are angry now, then rather taking this anger to your advantage.
Exactly. And as you say, we get so caught up in the doing. It's like, I need to do this right now because X, Y, and Z will fall in a linear scope of things. But it's the same with personal development and gaining a better mindset. If you are not making or taking the action to change and to ask these questions and to move from your heart space, the universe is going to force you eventually, and it's going to be a little bit less comfortable than it would have been if you just took the decision the first time. Yeah.
Changes are always a bit uncomfortable because we get into a space of not knowing and choosing different and not knowing what is going to come out. What if your life would not be anymore lived by results?
Mind blown. I think you've just blew everyone's mind right there.
Yeah. So what if your life doesn't need any results anymore? What if your life is just like you create your life more consciously, what you truly desire, and it's not based on, it needs to have this and this result. It doesn't need to have this and this outcome. What if you just really start to co-create with your universe, which is not something outside of you, it's you. You are the universe. And what I also have is like, have you ever tried to change something in the reality, in this reality where you're just in? Or do you always actually need to get out of this reality to change something?
Exactly. And that's the distraction that you create for yourself. And then when you create distractions for yourself, you confuse the universe, which is, of course, yourself. So you're just confusing yourself.
Yes. Yes. And fear and anger and buying into anger and emotionally also is just all distractions implants, actually. They keep you on creating further.
The biggest lie ever told.
Yes. So just create with your anger. Stop judging yourself with being angry, or send it back. And then I had something else. In my universe, I have a point of view. Actually, you can't change something in this reality. If you want to change something for yourself, you need to get beyond this reality. And then the other thing is, you were saying like, change your mindset. I don't bother anymore with changing my mindset.
Yeah.
Too much work. Because I found out that changing my mindset, oh my God, I'm gonna deal with that at least 1,000 other lifetimes. And I have this life here now. I'm just gonna start living from my heart, and I let this mind talk and ask my heart to everything what my mind tells me, and my programmed world here, which is anyway a limitation and not fun at all, and always judgments, and always with so I just go into my heart and ask questions. I don't need to know anything. I don't need to get anything. I don't need to understand anything. Stop understanding also. This makes you also angry, because understanding is disconnecting from you. It's stopping your creation. It's even buying universes from others because you're so much wanting to understand it. So what if you just go into your heart and get the message energetically, because we are all energetical beings.
This is so true.
Yeah. And with the mind, we produce our emotions. I found out we have a judgment, and with that, or we have like kind of an image, or our mind is producing like, we need to fear, because if this goes on like that, that's gonna show up like this and this, and it goes, I always say that's drama. The mind is kind of a drama queen. And then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you are like, oh my God, no move anymore. I'm not going to move anymore because then this is going to happen. But
exactly.
that's just a fucking mind which wants to limit you, and also programmed and lots of entities maybe also. But just don't listen to that. Ask your heart if that's true. Or it's just like fear from other people, or what the mainstream thinks of that. Just get out of your image of producing images, and keep on just having fun. Go for your pleasure. Go what is making you joyful. Stop being harsh on you, and stop being stressing out because I didn't do my Instagram post. My business is gonna go. I'm not gonna have any income anymore. I mean,
I laugh because this was me last year. It was so silly, stressing and freaking out about an Instagram post. And I'm like, oh my God, like why are you wasting your time?
Yeah, maybe you just have a good sit outside in the nature, and all this doing and all this listening to our mind must bring anger and frustration up in you, because it has nothing to do with your sexualness. It has nothing to do with your joy, with your orgastic life, which you could live in this moment.
Exactly. And seeing as anger and frustration is also a kind of fire, you can transmute that fire into just a different color.
Yeah, or into a different possibility, or into a super creation which is much bigger than you thought before of it.
Exactly, the creation through that fire.
Yes. If you don't create consciously, you create shit.
Amen,
so that makes you angry too.
Amen.
You know, that makes you angry too. So you just stop creating shit because you're lazy, or you don't bother, or because anyone else should create for you, or because you don't want to look inside what you truly desire.
You're just complaining the whole time.
Yes,
like, stop complaining. Yeah. And taking this action is not necessarily a physical thing either. It's just a choice. A choice of living. Am I going to choose to stay in this mental state of creating shit? No, I don't want to. So what can I do to change that? Do you know what, today? No, I'm not going to work. I'm going to do what's best for me. Because you can't pour from an empty cup. There's nothing to pour. And then you're just going to get frustrated and angry some more. So yeah, I love that. Let's stop creating shit and consciously create love.
Yes. And even if you ask yourself, what would I like to create, and you don't get an answer, mainly we don't get an answer because the universe is your universe, which is a part of you, which is just higher and bigger and wiser than your mind, and not limited.
Yeah.
Then it's possibilities are going to show up, and we're so focused on what we don't want. But actually, if we really listen to what we don't want, we have also the other opposite side, what we want. Because just listening and looking what we don't want is telling you what you truly desire.
Exactly. It's when people ask me about my favorite type of music. Don't ask me about limitations. I don't know what my favorite music is. I like a lot of things. Ask me what I don't want and I can tell you. Because that just creates a whole lot of open space for anything to come up,
Yeah. So yes, have a look what you want and then have a focus on what you want and not what you don't want. Because the focus on what you don't want makes you angry too. Because guess you're gonna create what you don't want if you focus on that.
Exactly.
And then you have for sure the anger again here.
Yeah, and the
clearing
cycle
out.
continues.
So don't take your life too serious and your situations. Don't take yourself too serious. And don't make everything too significant, even your anger. But don't suppress it also. No, not now. In einer Minute, Christoph, ich mache dann noch fertig. Ja, super. Gerne. Wie du magst. So, I had just Christoph coming, a little kid asking me something.
Thank you.
He is just doing something very practical. Yes. So be more of you, then you don't have so much time to create shit and to come from your mind, because you is not your mind. You is a powerful, creative, wonderful, undefined,
magnificent
being, which can create everything and can be everything. So just go on and create your life more consciously and with more fun. And
just a little bit of a secret in life: the more fun you have in life, the more playful you are, and the more joy you experience in this, the more power you generate. We are literally walking batteries. The more we generate all these things, the more power we have, and the more we realize how to use this power to create and live an absolute orgastic life, because that's creation center.
Yes, look at the trees. When you sit down and just listen to the trees and really engage with the tree, they are just being. They are receiving the sun and giving how do you say it? Air? So
Yeah, oxygen.
Oxygen, yeah, oxygen. And they just do that the whole time. So they don't need to be frustrated. They don't go like, oh, this weather today, I mean, that's so crazy. It makes me angry. I wanted to have sun. See, that's your judgment.
Yeah. Oh no, look at that tree. That tree is growing. I need to grow fast.
Yeah. Growth is actually not coming from your mind. Growth is something which is an inner process, which is always on. You change every 10 seconds, you are someone else again. So
exactly. I mean, 10 minutes ago, we were already someone that we can never be ever again.
yes.
Because and that is so exciting.
And you are already much more aware again, have more awareness, more consciousness. So yeah. Also with your partner, you know, when your partner makes you angry, or I have something for you too here. So like, you know, that we're like, oh, I knew he's going to respond like that. I know him. He's always responding like that. So maybe you want what I have a tool like, what I do is every evening I go and just destroy all my relationships, even with myself. Yeah. So I wake up in the morning, I don't know anything about this person. I start fresh. I don't know her. I don't know him. I don't know, doesn't matter, even with the kids. And it gives the persons, the people really lots of more space to be them than what I project on them, what I think I know of them. Because if I just always go, he's going to respond like that, can be an awareness, but also a projection on the person where this person can't change anything, just delivering the same things. So
exactly. And is that not just like such a beautiful reflection of that, just what's going on within? If you're constantly holding on to someone else's past and how they acted and how they reacted according to, you are not changing. Because you are holding on to your old past self. And we experienced this with the kids yesterday. The one kid said, or just brought to light about what the other kid did the previous day. And we were like, no, that person doesn't exist anymore. We don't live in the past. We forget about it and we carry on. And so a whole new relationship was formed, which is absolutely beautiful. But I love that. I love that. And when I woke up this morning, I kind of had to think towards myself. I woke up and I felt fresh and light and beautiful and ready for life. And I didn't feel tired. And I was just orgastically living for the day, you know?
Great.
And yeah, and I figured, you know what? I would love to just be in this space forever. And then I caught myself. I was like, you know what? Even this, I wouldn't like being in this space forever, because that means I'm not expanding my consciousness and I'm just, once again, staying with the dormant thing. And realizing how I had to let a past self go, that traumatized, hurtful, worrisome self, and then also being able to let my happy self go, that was profound for me. And that just created so much more space for creation. So yeah, that was an exciting part of my day.
I just post something because when you're saying expansiveness and relaxation is actually the energy to create our future.
Yeah.
So let's have a look. Maybe you are frustrated and angry quite a lot with yourself just because of you doing too much and being more of a robot and not creating really a future, which would be relaxation and expansiveness. And letting it come, receive from your future energetically. And then
and if you don't,
yes, sorry.
No, and if you don't know how to receive and you don't even know what it means, just put your left hand over your heart, put your right hand over your left, close your eyes, take a deep breath, smile, and feel it, because that's what it feels like to receive. Relax and then create.
Yeah. Gratefulness is also a big, good tool to expand on your receiving capacities.
That's my most favorite drug in this entire planet. It's gratitude.
I saw it. Yeah. I always like to do once a year a grateful challenge.
Yeah, what is your challenge like? What do you do for your challenge?
Well, I just invite people and then we look every day what we can be grateful together. Right in the evening also, but also I clear with them also what is in the way to be grateful in some situations or in the past situations where you couldn't, where you had a perspective in it, for example. So yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I feel, especially when it comes to children and morning routines and whatnot, gratitude is so helpful. Moms and dads out there listening to this, okay? This might take a lot of energy at first, but I promise you, your lives are going to improve. On your way to school, when you feel like you want to put the radio on, switch it off. You don't need to listen to that blabber, okay? You don't need to listen to music. Have a conversation with your kids and ask them 3 things that you are grateful for and why. It's very easy to say, I'm grateful for the tree. I'm grateful that I get to go to school. I'm grateful for that it's Friday. But the why is so important, because as soon as you mention the why, you actually start feeling it. And that's what it brings into your heart, or that's what helps you then lead from your heart. So if you say, I'm thankful for a tree. Okay, why? Now I have to think, okay, because they create beauty, they create oxygen, they create the network which we walk on, etc., etc., etc. I mean, I can go on for days about trees. But I mean, just sit and take the time with your children and ask them what they are grateful for. And if they are too young to understand or grasp the concept of gratitude, ask them, what makes you happy today? What brings you joy today? And the whole household will improve. Promise.
Yeah. They relax also more into their bodies too. And gratefulness is not something which comes from your head.
Definitely not.
Which you have in your heart. It's actually being touched by a person. It's being touched by a tree. That's for me gratefulness. Letting yourself also being touched.
Yeah, that's showing that vulnerability of receiving once again.
Great. So thank you very much, Lizé, for all that podcast. We went in so many directions, whatever. I guess you have here, everyone who is going to listen to that has a lot of different tools and different possibility to gain out something out of that. And we're going to go on, Lizé and I, we're going to make next month again a podcast on what? Let's have a look. Stay in contact, stay online, stay in line, stay in line.
Stay in line and stay aligned.
And you will see, just watch the Instagram, and you will see when we have a premiere of the next one. Cool. Thank you very much for your time, Lizé, and for so much fun and all this lightness and easiness. And thank you very much for all the listeners who are going to listen to that. And of course, please comment, ask your questions in the comments. If you have people who could have a contribution out of that, please send them the possibility to listen to that too, the links. And yes, let's grow this podcast.
Yeah, so much fun. Thank you so much, Katherine, for taking out the time for everybody and for everyone that's listening in. I mean, if you made it to the end of the podcast, I commend you, because it's not often that people listen to the end, all the way to the end of the podcast.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Lots and lots of hugs and love, and happy new moon in Leo.
Yes, thank you. You too. Bye, Lizé.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening and being part of Living Beyond This Reality community and podcast. Please subscribe and share it with the world. We would love to have more consciousness and more people waking up so we can all create more.